Christine Lenches Hinkel, founder president of 301 Organics. We are a small business here in Altadena. We've been doing soils work and organics management and recovery work for probably over 15, 20 years now in this neighborhood. I'm born and raised here in Altadena. I'm one of you. Have lost a lot. I haven't seen you in so long. Let's see. Oh my God, Avison. So the work that I do now, we've definitely pivoted from regulatory compliance work with keeping organics out of the landfill and trying to recover that and putting it to best and highest use. We were at the Rose Bowl Stadium for 8 years, developing and designing and building out their organics recovery and diversion program. But at the same time, building a workforce, to learn all about this topic, this subject matter. We recovered that food waste. We turned it into compost, a soil amendment, a chemical-free fertilizer alternative, tested it on the grounds, and we're very, very close to a major transition at that institution. But then we have the fires came, and fortunately, it was a bittersweet moment, but right at the beginning, we were on the ground doing soils testing, knowing that the practice that we were practicing at the Rose Bowl Stadium was going to be the solution for everyone here on their property. Not just in the short term, where we needed to get the ground covered with living organic matter, but also thinking ahead, more long term, during rebuild, what's going to happen with the vegetation. It's going to continue to grow. Right? And you're going to need to still manage it, right? And we're here to really try to impress upon you that material is valuable to you. There's a slew of biology. We're taking a biological approach to everything that we do right now because everything's been burned off. Everything's been charred up. The life has been sucked out of the ground. And that life is what supports life above ground, not just to support you and I as humans, but the plants that we eat, the animals that we eat and consume. They need to eat, the vegetation. So we need to really, our goal and mission is to help shift some mindsets and long-term landscape vegetation management practices for the future and the long term, because it's a cyclical process. What we do is not a one-time fix. We will need your partnership and your engagement and collaboration to continue these treatments in the long term, meaning we're going to be very disruptive to the system in terms of how we were managing our vegetation in the past. We were mowing and blowing, we were bagging and hauling, and we were depriving our properties of the very organic material and living organisms that are your soldiers on the ground. Right? One thing to note is that we were very much, behind the scenes while everyone was just struggling to just survive, right? And find their way through this tragedy. I was fortunate enough to be at a distance, even though born and raised in Pasadena and Altadena and raised my kids here. I knew the community very, very well. I knew how to navigate and convened our workforce that we were working with at the Rose Bowl Stadium and began training, just began teaching, began delegating, this is what we need to do. And soils testing was the very first thing on the ground. We knew that data was going to be really, really important, not just from a soil health perspective, but data is evidence, right, for you, and how to manage that data so that you had it to prove that your properties were damaged from the fires. We wanted to collect that, right, and we needed to have as much of this data for you as possible down the road when it's needed. And now that things have settled somewhat, there's time to have these more extended conversations, but please know and trust that we are with you. Our team is small and mighty, but we've got all of our processes in place. There's many small businesses that have band together, that are supporting one another for a common goal, which is to recover organic material that's being generated within the community, process that into the very product and biology that we need to put back onto your properties. We're losing a lot of tree trimmings and trees and mulch, and even we're losing food scraps too still. But we're on the front line. We have been on the front line. And as you'll see at our table, after a year's worth of data collection, both on the front end of collecting baseline information of where people's the contaminant levels are on each other's property. And yes, we were doing the hotspot testing because we wanted to go back to those sites and see how well our treatments were working. And I'm here to impart you with some hope that there is a path forward, that there is a process in place. We are seeing the data that's promising, okay? We're past that magic 30 mark of a data set that now we're seeing more normalized results. So please check out our poster boards by the table. But again, what's most important here is biology. It's a nature-based solutions approach. It's a non-mechanical, non-extractive, non-disruptive. It's the most gentle way to really revive our properties back. And honest to God, every time we do a treatment, everybody's face just lights up because there's a shift. You can feel the life already coming back under your feet. And yes, you can still walk on it. You can still mix it around. You can still disrupt it. The biology is extremely resilient, okay? But we need to partner with them, okay? We need to understand how they operate, how they live underground. They need just as much resources and care as we do. We need water to drink, to keep hydrated. We need food to consume, to populate. The biology underground needs the same.
You're talking about the microbiology.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. Exactly. Soil microbiology, taking a biological approach.
You're not scraping on your soil and hauling
Versus.
it away to somewhere.
Right.
Right.
And although that scraping does have still a lot of minerals, yes, it has the analytes and the contaminants that may be concentrated, but that biology and that organic matter can do wonders to diffuse, to sequester, to mobilize, and reduce or mitigate for that exposure risk just from handling or wind disturbance or any other things like that. So our team is here. If you see our team, they are the next generation. Okay, and we would love to be able to bring them up in this discipline, in this practice, and in this workspace. So treatments with us, you are supporting their future.